So, how young is too young when it comes to a little nip and a little tuck?
Well, these days, women getting breast augmentation is turning into girls getting the work done.
And plastic surgeon Mark Mausner from Mausner Plastic Surgery and Center and Melissa Wood, who got breast implants at a rather young age, are here to talk more about how young is too young. Welcome to you both. Thanks for coming in. We'll start with you, Melissa, and hey, congratulations. Got to hand it to you. It takes a lot of guts to show up here, so we appreciate your coming in.
And to talk about it. A lot of people don't like to talk about this.
Some people find it a little too personal, but we appreciate your coming in and telling us your story. You were 21 when you had the implants, and you're 23 now?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you decide to do it at that age, and what was your reasoning behind it?
I actually never wanted to have them just because I was like nervous about going under the knife and like having surgery, but I just wasn't happy with the way I looked and the way I looked in clothes and everything, and I wanted to be more proportioned, and I wasn't sure, like, this was like pretty much my only option to do. So I told my mom about it, and she actually like helped me look into doctors, and I went to a couple doctors that I didn't feel completely comfortable with putting my surgery in their hands, and then she found Dr. Mausner, and we went and had a consultation with him.
So if we get a little more personal, down to the nitty-gritty, what cup size were you before your surgery?
I was not even an A cup.
Okay, and now?
Now I'm a C.
You're a C.
C.
Okay.
Interesting. Do people mostly go, you know, C's and higher, Dr. Mausner? I mean, do you find any of your patients ever choose to get an A cup or a B cup?
Oh, sure. We have a whole range based on somebody's needs, their emotional development, their physical development, and their expectations. And we want to set the expectations realistically, so that when a young lady comes in, I want to make sure that she's mature enough to have the procedure, that she has been thinking about this for more than a week, not just from the last time she saw her favorite pop star. This is not something, I want to see somebody who has such motivation and has some family support, that their parents are involved in the decision making as well, and that they're choosing something that's going to work best for them, not something that their boyfriend wants them to have, for example.
And that's a good point, because you could be 16 or 18 and want one thing, and then when you grow up you want a different thing. 21, you're grown up, you can vote, you can drink, you can pay bills all by yourself, you're in school, but do you think it was too early for you?
I don't, because I think at 21, my body did pretty much the growing where I wanted it to grow. That was it. So, like, I thought I allowed enough time to let go by to where.
How long before you had the idea of, I'm going to go under the knife for surgery and actually doing it?
I thought about it really considered it in June, and I got my surgery done in October of the same year.
Yeah, that's some time.
Yeah, definitely. So was the procedure explained to you fully, and did you have any surprises afterwards? I mean, how tough was it to go through this procedure?
It was nerve-wracking going in because you didn't know what to expect, but once you get there in the surgery, like, I was nervous just to go under. I was surprised actually at how quickly I healed, because I was knocked out for the 3 days, you know, just taking the medication, and I just let my body rest. That's just what you're supposed to do. I took off 2 weeks of work, and like a week after the surgery, I was back in work, like hostessing, and then I was serving. Like, you just have to be careful of what your body can do and not go over the limit, and you'll be fine.
This is pretty expensive. When I think of any kind of surgery like this, I'm thinking you had to have some cash.
I actually just worked every single day that I could and saved every single dime, and I didn't do anything, so it was about $7 grand, including everything.
Doctor, is that pretty average?
Well, it's average, but let me go back to something you brought up that I think was a very, very good question, and that is, when did she think about having it done, and then what was the time interval until she had it done? It's very important that I see these patients in consultation twice. First, for the initial consultation when they're considering doing this, and secondly, when we talk about the preoperative visit, which is about 3 weeks prior. At this point, we're going through absolutely everything with them, including and highlighted complications and risks. I look at this as a lifetime commitment. So I want them to know exactly what they're getting into, because it's very important for them to understand this is very real surgery.
It's not just a decision on a whim that I want to look like this person.
This is not a McDonald's drive-through procedure.
Yeah,
That's
I would
what
like that value pack, thank you very much, and it's not that cheap.
And I'll have fries with that.
I'll have fries with that. Now, I can't ignore what we have here on the table. These are the implants, right?
Exactly. We're looking here at silicone implants, and they come in 3 different sizes. And these are now, we use that to judge what is going to go into each patient. But the most critical decision is whether we go with saline or whether we go with silicone.
And the ones there are, the three that we're seeing on the screen there, or the three right here, these are all silicone.
These are all silicone. They all come pre-filled with the silicone that's now a very far advanced silicone from what we used to have.
So these are safe.
Yeah, these are very safe. The FDA has come out, and they had the hearings over 10 years ago and have said that these are absolutely safe to be used and implanted, placed in the right person at the right time by the right physician.
And what type do you have?
I have the saline.
These are the saline implants. Now, these are identical in terms of their outer construction, of the outer silicone bag, if you will, which is the most inert thing that we have in terms of implantable devices. Heart valves, joint replacements are made out of the same silicone. However, these get filled with salt water or saline. And these can be adjusted in terms of size, especially useful when the patient comes with mismatched sizes. It's very, very common to put in implants of the saline type when we have a mismatch of size. And it's very common to see women with mismatched sizes.
What's safer, though, really?
Well, they're both very safe. So let's put that argument to rest. Are there complications or risks? Absolutely.
Because if the silicone leaked, you have to think that that's a little bit more dangerous than salt water leaking in my body.
Well, firstly, we have to do, detection is important. If these leak, these will get absorbed by the body because it's just normal salt water. So the body will suck it up and will make the diagnosis very easily. There's a decrease in size. When the silicone rupture or leak, because of this new memory gel that they have, which is a cohesive gel, so the gel stays together. In the old days, the gel would disseminate through the body. Here, we don't have this anymore. However, we do have a problem if it does leak or rupture of making the diagnosis because the size and shape stays fairly the same as it was before. So we have to send patients for very expensive testing called MRI. And that will help show, not 100% of the time, but will help show that. And that's why it's my preference to put in saline implants. I won't not use silicone implants, but my first implant of choice, done the right way, and then we'll talk about that if you like, under the muscle versus over the muscle, because that's a critical
Does either one look a little more natural than the other?
No, I would put my saline implants up against silicone implants any day of the week. They look the same, they will feel the same, and placed in the right patient in the right way, they're identical. If you have a woman who comes with less than a size A and needs enlargement, they have very little of their own soft tissue, we might want to move them more towards a silicone implant, as we would a woman who had a mastectomy and has very little soft tissue on top of that. So that there are some very good reasons for making those choices. This is why it's critically important to choose a plastic surgeon with the knowledge base to know which implants to use in what patient.
Doctor, has your business been doing well these days?
Well, I can't complain. There's been a little downturn in the market, so everything, even luxury items, but I would take plastic surgery.
Why do you think it's doing so well?
Because I think the demand is still there, and I think people are making intelligent choices. It's not as expensive as it used to be, so the prices have come down. There's been more competition. But I would also say that we're seeing that young women, because that's what this is really all about, are more intelligent nowadays. They are they are body conscious, they're working out, they're watching their weight, and in a non-obsessive way, because we want to make sure that people are emotionally and physically stable for the procedure. This is a wonderful way for them to get back to this body proportion that they're looking for.
We don't have much time yet left, but I know Melanie and I are dying to know. Any regrets? I can't even speak today.
I wish I would have done it sooner, but I don't know if my body would have reacted the same way, but I'm very happy with it.
And doctor, would you have done it sooner? Would you do it on, say, a 16-year-old patient?
No.
No.
I wouldn't do it on a 16-year-old because the breasts haven't fully developed and they're emotionally, they're not quite ready for that.
So the minimum age you think would be?
18 years old in special circumstances.
All right. Dr. Mark Mausner, Melissa Wood, thank you both for coming in. Very interesting.
Thank you.